According to the CIA World Factor Book, 2/5 of the Haitian population depend on the agriculture sector, mainly small-scale farming. With 80% of its population living under the poverty line, Haiti relies on formal international economic assistance for fiscal sustainability, and over half of its annual budget comes from the international community. Joining me to discuss the agricultural industry in Haiti, we welcome Anthony Vinciguerra, coordinator of the Center for Community Engagement at Saint Thomas University. Anthony leads the university's Haitian Fair Trade Coffee Project, known as Café Cocano, in Port-de-Paix in Haiti. And Dr. Albert Williams, assistant professor and chair of finance and economics at the School of Business and Entrepreneurship at Nova Southeastern University. Welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure to be here.
But
thank you.
Before we get to the discussion, let's take a quick look at what the project is about.
Non pas monsieur Tani Selike. Je suis technicien en Cocano, un pépiniériste Cocano. Cocano est important parce que c'est un avancement pour le pays d'Haïti, surtout pour notre Est. Parce que ce café, c'est avec le paysan qu'on fait mettre Timounio à l'école, faire éducation Timounio à l'aise. Et avec Cocano qui vient sur le terrain là, c'est un espoir pour tout le monde.
It is delicious, aromatic, smooth, and great tasting, and also the best group of people you'd ever want to have harvest your coffee.
Again, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And Albert, we'll start with you. You just watched a short video of what the Cocano project is about, and you have experienced same type of industry and challenges in other Caribbean countries.
Right. Absolutely. I am originally from Belize, and in my prior job before becoming a professor at Nova Southeastern University, I was managing a rice industry for small farmers, nearly 2,000 of them. And the project is basically to buy the paddy from them, mill it, and sell it. So we offered the help of marketing for these farmers. And it's a very similar structure to what's going on. Small farmers in Haiti, small farmers in Belize. And we set up that marketing infrastructure to help to buy that product. That has gone on for many, many years, and it's still going on today. Slightly different now, but it's still going on. So I'm quite familiar with that project, and I was lucky to have been able to visit Haiti for a week in my prior career, and I was able to travel across Haiti to see the similar type of agriculture, small farm. And by the way, after looking at that video, I would like a cup of that coffee.
No, I shouldn't.
But tell us some more about the facts. When you look at the numbers,
Right.
it has a lot of potential, right?
Absolutely. I'll tell you. Let me give you a little rundown of some key agriculture numbers for Haiti. As you said, over 50% is in agriculture. Agriculture accounts for 25% of Haiti's GDP, gross domestic product. There's a high poverty rate, and when you have poverty, you don't have money to buy the food, and so you might have issues of food insecurity, undernourishment, underweight, and maybe even stunted growth of children. So poverty and food, they go together. Climate, you know that. We have been exposed to drought and floods, hurricane, landslides, right, Anthony? We basically don't export much in agriculture. Most of the export is in apparel, 90%. We only produce in Haiti 50% of the food. So 50% comes from the other parts of the world, US in particular, and Dominican Republic, the neighbor. So that's a great opportunity. We depend a lot on remittances from the other parts of the world for monies to come in to help, as you were saying. Part of the government budget is from overseas. I like this one, and you'll find this interesting. 6.8 million telephones in Haiti and 10 million people. That's a very interesting statistics. I like it because you could use technology to help with the development of the country, not only for talking, but for passing information and communication.
We will go back to the technology aspect, but let's go, Anthony, to the, based on what Albert just mentioned about the challenges in Haiti and the opportunities also they have. You've been traveling in Haiti for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the challenges. The Cocano, and before the challenge, the Cocano project, it's a cooperative.
In the Northwest, yeah.
Yes, in
So
the
you can tell me about
Northwest.
it. Sure.
And a project of the Catholic Church in Haiti.
It was founded by the Catholic Church. And I want to say, first of all, that the truth is the farmers from Cocano could speak so much better about this than I can. I wish they could be with us today. But yeah, the group of farmers had begun organizing in the Northwest about 9 years ago. And St. Thomas University, where I work, was looking at ways that we could support Haiti's long-term future. You know, we hear a lot of people that really want to help Haiti and will send some money and help in a time of, you know, urgent disaster. But when we spoke with people in the Northwest, which is the sister diocese for the Archdiocese of Miami, so that's sort of our partner area, they said they really wanted to collaborate on projects that helped them stand on their own 2 feet, that would really help them develop their own society, their own economy, their own long-term future. And that's when they started talking to us about coffee. You know, the island of Hispaniola, Haiti and the Dominican Republic, at one time produced over half of the world's coffee production.
Wow.
They've been producing so much coffee since colonial times, but in the last 75 years or so, coffee production in Central and South America has really grown, and Haiti didn't have the infrastructure to really get it to market at a price where they could make enough to live on. So farmers were beginning to rip out their coffee trees and plant corn and beans on the hillsides and really, unfortunately, get rid of a lot of this old heirloom, beautiful organic coffee they had. Any event, so when we got involved with the university, that's what the farmers said to us. They said, look, we're organizing a cooperative. We'd really like to get it to market in a way that'll help the local farmers build a future of their own area. They wanted to revive this coffee tradition. And we said, well, we have business students, we've got accounting students, we have students that need to learn about that, and maybe we could build this partnership, and that's what we've been doing.
And so far, we look at the numbers, over 200 pounds of coffee has been exported for this cooperative for the past 4 years, 3 years actually.
200,000 pounds of coffee.
About over 200,000 pounds. And over 300 families, 2,000 individuals of the Archdiocese have been employed too.
Yeah.
So this is, we look at a small project, but can also be an example of an agriculture plan, a national agriculture plan for the country.
Right.
Right.
You know, I must tell you,
Albert.
Anthony, I applaud you for taking on that project and for the university to do it. That is an innovative way to help farmers. Because if you notice, all the farm societies are small farmers. They have less than 5 or 6 acres of land. So they can't go large scale like we're used to in the United States. So what can you do with the farmers at that level? So this is an innovation. We need to get more of these types of innovations at different parts of the country to empower the farmers. And that's kind of where I agree with you, that how do you empower farmers rather than to have to give handouts forever?
But some will tell you that, yes, we have other similar projects in different parts of the country. For instance, Clinton Foundation, also they're working with some farmers in the southeast part of Haiti. But is it enough? Is there to have all these projects around the country when there's no economic plan?
It's challenging.
And then also you mentioned when we talked last night about the budget, the national budget of the agriculture.
I actually was looking at that today. We need a modern plan that will incorporate all that we are talking about here so that the whole country and the world understands what Haiti needs to take it forward. And I will concur that the Ministry of Agriculture needs to get a bigger slice of the budget. As Anthony, you and I were talking earlier, they come and they are willing to give money, professional support, but they have no resources to go farther than that. So it needs a multifaceted approach. Remember I told you, you cannot just fix one thing. You have to do a lot. And I like the idea of this modern agriculture plan. It has to talk about production, marketing, food security, governance. How do we govern? And I don't only mean government. I mean government, NGOs, operations like you. How do we manage the process? and it has to be sustainable.
Yeah.
But all of this has to happen in an empowerment modality. We cannot just go with the idea that we know and we don't empower the farmers and the producers. I was telling Anthony, those farmers are very knowledgeable. Maybe they haven't gone to school, but they understand how to grow coffee. They understand. It's just that they don't get the money for their work.
And what you heard from the farmers, Anthony?
There's a couple of things. I think you're right about a national plan. That's really important. And when we say national, we really mean not just Haitian, but the entire country of Haiti. You know, the Northwest, unfortunately, has been an area that's been really cut off from the rest of the country historically. And there's great coffee being produced in the South and the Southeast. But I think when the Haitian community is thinking about development in their country, they really have to think about what can be produced in different areas and what are different niche markets for different areas. So we're really developing an equitable development that helps get money to the farmers. Because the challenges, you were mentioning the challenges, there are many. And the biggest challenge probably in the Northwest is just the total lack of infrastructure. You know, there's currently still no paved road just to get to Port-de-Paix.
And we're going to go back to the infrastructure, but let's go to the entrepreneurship mindset, because I know that there are some members of the Haitian diaspora who try to do business and do the same thing, importing coffee or any other agro product from Haiti to the U.S. or to any part of the country, of the world. And the challenge is how to do business with the farmers, because they have a different business practice.
Yeah, I think it's really important that, you know, we're dealing with we're realistic with the reality on the ground in terms of amounts of production and scale of production and timelines, and then also making sure it benefits the farmers. You know, the truth is that it's difficult to produce commodities in an area with very little infrastructure, because, you know, instead of being driven to the local city from the mountainsides, it's carried down for hours. It's expensive. And so my little piece of advice for people wanting to invest in a remote part of Haiti, first of all, there's incredible opportunity, I think, but also to be realistic about the costs involved for the folks working on the ground, and that it really is worth it for them to do it. I know we've worked with plenty of farmers in certain areas where they say, hey, look, you know, if we can't get a certain price for our coffee, the truth is they're really better off not exporting it. And they're really better off selling in the local market if they can't get a fair enough price for it, because it won't be sustainable. Does it make sense?
And Anthony just mentioned about infrastructure. Can we develop more of that for people to understand? Because when we see farmer here in the United States, people see big machine, a lot of big equipment, technology. And
Well, I like what you were saying. The roads in Haiti, only 20% of them are paved. So you get dirt roads, gravel roads. It's a hard way to move your product. And if you get to a bridge and the truck were to stay in the river, as we were discussing, the floods can wet the coffee. And if a farmer has 10 bags of coffee and he loses 5 there, half his crop is gone. And might not sound like a lot. So infrastructure is not like what we have big storage facilities. That farmer might have a little shed for his bananas and things to keep there for market day, and he's going to try to get it out there. So it's a whole different thing. We were saying earlier, you can't compare what we do in America with what we do in Haiti. We have to have appropriate technologies that is applicable to help those people from where they are.
And increase the production too.
Absolutely, create production and set up the market structures. I'll tell you a model that I kind of like, and I hope we could do some in Haiti. Starbucks, and some of them buy products from farmers in Guatemala, and they pay them a fair price, better price for their coffee. Something like what you are doing here, and if we could find more models like that. It's only one version, but you remember I said something about multifaceted approach to development. It has to have education. I like empowerment. You believe it or not, I don't like handouts, and I said that openly across this country and across wherever I go. Empowerment will keep people alive for hundreds of years. You give them a handout, it's only good for a meal. You need both.
And what the farmers are doing there is really incredible. Given the context, I think, you know, what they're able to do with the little resources, with the lack of infrastructure, is really impressive. And so the type of investment that's needed to help them really succeed isn't huge. We're talking basic storage facilities, basic things like roads, you know, a little access to clean water. Those types of things can really go a far way. So I think with a small investment, it can make a huge difference.
Right.
The other piece I think is really important is good partnerships with really capable partners on the U.S. side. You know, we've been really lucky with this partnership. We work with Panther Coffee in Miami, and they've been an incredible partner with us. They're one of the top specialty coffee roasters in the United States right now. And the expertise that Joel Pollack and Panther Coffee have brought to the project has really helped bring an international level of quality to coffee from one of Haiti's most remote regions and really draw out this heirloom organic coffee that they've had for 100 years and trying to get that to market. So it's partnerships and expertise on both sides.
I've got to tell you a good point here. By Haiti, we have 50% foreign food. People start to get taste for the foreign food and don't want to eat the local food anymore. That's a real challenge. We need to get our Haitian people
to accept their own
food. They end up eating a lot of rice that's grown in the United States.
And then again, we're going back to the national plan because that's also part of the leadership, how to educate people to accept their own product.
Absolutely.
And instead of to buy from other. But we have but we have also to remind that you have cases like the rice that coming from, I think, Texas and going to Haiti, that's killed the rice in Haiti. And it was an agreement signed between former President Aristide and former President Bill Clinton.
It's incredibly sad.
So, and it's very important to mention that because at the end, yes, we're talking about development in Haiti, the state of the agriculture, but you have when the American government signed an agreement that to send, instead of to import from Haiti, they are sending to Haiti and they are killing the agriculture.
Rice industry.
The agriculture, yes, the rice industry in Haiti.
It's important for people to see that, you know, from early on. A lot of times people think, well, we're helping Haiti, we're giving them cheap rice, without even thinking the next step to how are you hurting, you know, Haitian rice farmers. And it happened in Mexico too. We were just discussing this. So many Mexican farmers I meet that have, you know, come across the border working in the United States because their small farms in Mexico have been run out by cheap American corn being sent there. So, but the long term, really thinking long term with international policy and seeing how that affects real human people, like the farmers that we work with in the Northwest. They see it all the time.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but this is not the end of the conversation. I'm Farah. Thanks for watching.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.